That's right. You're listening to another boring news and nonsense report, I think. Toss, are you awake?
Spatchy, why'd you wake me up? I was napping. I see you.
Well, I mean, Decker didn't even bother to show up tonight. He says he's too good to join us. He has things that are more important than we are, Toss.
It must be something going up Canada. I don't want to even talk about it, I tell you.
I don't know. Maybe the Queen raised his taxes and that sort of thing, and so now he's got to work extra hours. And I'll tell you, gosh, I lost my train of thought. Don't you hate it when that happens?
I'm sorry. Were you talking to me?
Shut up, Toss. Hey, Microsoft is making a stripped-down Windows to rival Linux. What is this? I couldn't believe it when I saw this article today.
What?
Silicon Valley names like Google and Twitter run their online services across thousands of machines. And to efficiently execute their software with so much hardware in the mix, they often use the open source Linux operating system and a technology called containers. What they don't use is Windows. Microsoft's flagship operating system operates quite differently from Linux, which could be a problem as containers become the preferred way of computing in the cloud. But now, as so many other follow the lead of giants like Google and Twitter, Microsoft is reshaping Windows so that it doesn't get left behind. In the fall, Microsoft announced that it would add Linux-like container technology to a future version of Windows. Today, the company revealed that it's also developing a super slim version of Windows that will run what it describes as a new kind of container, one that provides an added level of security. The OS is called Windows Server Nano. So it sounds to me, Toss, it seems like, Microsoft is finally, they realize that Linux is onto something. And, I remember seeing a farce of a website years ago, Microsoft Linux, and that sort of thing, and the way Nadella is taking this company now, there is a possibility we may actually see a Microsoft Linux. What do you think about that, Toss? Or at least some variant at A?
I was just thinking about that coming next year, January, the 1st of the year, kick off the new year with the new Windows Linux distribution courtesy of distrowatch.com. Imagine that. It just seems weird, but hey, you never know anymore, yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was really surprising when I saw that, so I figured I have to bring that one to the table. What you got, Toss?
Some more good Ubuntu phone news. The latest iteration of the Ubuntu phone, the BQ Aquarius E4.5, I guess that's the size of the screen, this is the first commercially available Ubuntu phone. You might recall back in February they had these little quickie flash sales. Well, this is commercially available. It's still only in Europe for 170 euros. I guess that's less than $200. It's certainly priced right. Check it out. It is available now in Europe, and I believe, Spatry, this summer we might see a USA-based Ubuntu phone. Very interesting.
Yeah, now we've had some opportunities in the past to talk with Alan Pope because he hangs out here quite often at Cup of Linux on our Mumble server. And
right.
It seems like they're doing very well with the Ubuntu devices. It'd be very interesting to see them hit the store shelves here in the U.S. I haven't had, we haven't seen them yet. But apparently they're doing very good, so that's good stuff to hear indeed.
Right.
All right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Git. Happy birthday to you. That's right. 10 years ago this week, the Linux kernel community faced a daunting challenge. They could no longer use their revision control system, BitKeeper, and no other open source control management met their needs for a distributed system. Linus Torvalds, the creator of Linux, took the challenge into his own hands and disappeared over the weekend to emerge the following week with Git. Today, Git is used for thousands of projects and has ushered in a new level of social coding among programmers. So happy birthday to Git. And arguably, Git is probably the next greatest piece of software released by Linus Torvalds to the community. Excuse me. Linux.com has this article along with an interview with the Git creator, Linus Torvalds. Well worth your time. So head on over to Linux.com and check that one out. What you got, Toss?
On that note, what can I say? Yes, I get it. Anyway.
Well, do you ever build anything from Git?
I don't remember, actually. I don't think I have.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if you're using an Arch-based distribution or a derivative thereof or something like that, and sometimes you may run, you download a shell script from online that would make sure that you have Git installed and would connect to, GitHub or wherever else. And then, open up that Git tree, download the files that you need, and then build it for your system. I think it's pretty cool. Now, I'm no expert on it. I wish I had Edge226 here. I mean, he's an expert on using GitHub and that sort of thing. He can expand on it quite a bit more. But if you're using Arch or Manjaro, you probably already have Git installed on your system, and you use it quite a bit to download and build packages for your system. So yeah, good stuff indeed.
Linux Mint Debian Edition 2, the final releases are finally here. Both Cinnamon and Mate. I'm a big fan of the Mate desktop. I currently use Ubuntu Mate, but they're out if you would like to take a look at something different. Now, this is Debian-based, not Ubuntu-based, so I believe PPAs will not work. But if you are more intermediate advanced, I briefly tested Linux Mint Debian the beta Mate, and it seemed faster. And sure enough, I went to their website for the blogging use, and they officially say this will run faster. So check out Linux Mint Debian. At least the Mate, in my test, even in a virtual box, it did seem to run a little bit faster.
Now, I'm curious to know if they're still making the XFCE variants. I liked Mint when I was running XFCE. Now you stated this is Debian though, so
yes,
they probably have a little bit more of a limited selection, but it is semi-rolling, which is quite nice because I do believe it's based on the testing repository, and it will continue to roll until the existing testing repository, I believe it's Wheezy right now, until that becomes stable. So if you're looking for, and the thing is, Debian testing has been well known to work quite well for people. So yeah. All right. Well, I have something interesting, and it looks like this is something that's right around the corner. It looks like Android apps will eventually run on Windows, Mac, and Linux with ArcWelder. I did a search for this online today, and I couldn't find it because I do have Google Chrome browser installed on my system just so I can watch Netflix. And I was looking for this application. Apparently, it isn't ready just yet. But Google has launched a tool that lets Android apps run on any machine that can run its Chrome browser. Hallelujah to that, because I'll tell you what, kids, I've got a lot of Android programs that I would absolutely love to run on my computer. So this is great stuff indeed, and I'll be keeping an eye out on this. And once they do release it, I'll put up a video on it. So at any rate, the software is called ArcWelder. It acts as a wrapper around Android apps so that they can run on Windows OS X and Linux machines. The project was previously limited to a small group of developers who got to collab. Oh, goodness, Toss, I can't talk today.
What are you eating?
Well, actually, I'm having chicken and fries here. All right, the project was previously limited to a small group of developers who got to collaborate with Google to do so. Now the company has launched a new Chrome app packager that expands the places that Android apps can run and might make it easier for developers to get code working on different machines. Cool stuff indeed.
I think we should change our show's name to the Sunday Night Chef and Nonsense, since you're going to be eating during these recordings.
Well, I mean, I have a few little snacks here, just like I've got my coffee and everything like that, yeah, well, It's no news and nonsense isn't any fun unless I have my goodies with me here, you know?
Well, duh. Elementary Freya is finally available. The latest stable release is out. I tested the beta. It seemed to be okay. It looks nice. I'm not sure it's something I would use, but for all of you who liked Elementary before, you'll probably like this version. Check it out. Elementary OS Freya, the final edition, is available.
Toss, could you do me a favor and pick a number between 1 and 7?
Well, let's see. Today is the 12th, so let's add 1 and 2. How about 3?
All right, and today's winner for our giveaway, we're giving away Magica. Now, this is a Windows game. However, it will run on Wine if you have Steam installed using Wine. It does have a DirectX. And our winner corresponds to Ironclaw. Ironclaw, you are the winner. So check the forum. I will be sending you a Steam key where you can download the game and give it a play. All right, and let's go ahead and move on to the... Actually, no. I've got another piece of news before we move on to the nonsense report. It appears that Google is purging the development of next-generation battery technology. Well, it seems that current lithium-ion batteries in the tech world are slowly improving. It's becoming increasingly more difficult for companies to build high-end devices that won't waste precious battery life. A number of research labs and universities are trying to solve this battery problem, but not many have been successful in recent years. One of the latest companies to research heavily into new battery tech is Google, according to a new report by the Wall Street Journal. The group that is currently working on this new battery tech comes from the Google X Research Labs and is led by former Apple battery expert Dr. Ramesh Barwa. I believe that's how his name is pronounced. According to people familiar with the matter, Google's team originally began testing other companies' batteries for its use in Google's own products since 2012. And the team has shifted its efforts into building battery tech that Google will end up producing itself. So who knows? We could probably see some better batteries in the near future, get some longer battery life and that sort of thing. Should be good stuff indeed.
More powder. I'm all for it.
All right, what you got, Toss?
Spatry Tokyo has a new tourism ambassador. Guess who it is? It's in Tokyo.
Who?
Oh, come on. You can't guess this, Tokyo. Hint, Tokyo.
Godzilla?
Exactly.
It's the nonsense report, kids.
This is for real. I guess it's to make tourists feel somewhat comfortable and welcome, but there might be a small problem because I think Godzilla keeps watch of the tourists. And like if you litter on the ground or spit, he has a quick stack. So just a quick warning there.
Yeah, I thought I saw some article like that earlier this morning. They had some giant Godzilla or something like that. I saw a picture of it or something like that. And I was thinking to myself, this is too nonsense to be true, but you picked up on it? Cool deal indeed. Well, Toss, some more nonsense for you. NSA, NSA, everybody loves the NSA. You knew that was coming, didn't you? Well... Okay, good night. That's it. Goodbye, everybody. No, actually, well, you hear of all these backdoors and everything. Well, apparently, according to this article dated on April 12th today, the NSA wants tech companies to give it front door access, not back door access. It wants front door access to encrypted data. Yes! The National Security Agency is embroiled in a battle with tech companies over access to encrypted data that would allow it to spy more easily on millions of Americans and international citizens. Last month, companies like Google, Microsoft, and Apple urged the Obama administration to put an end to the NSA's bulk collection of metadata. The NSA, on the other hand, continues to parade the idea that the government needs access to encrypted data on smartphones and other devices and prevent criminal activity. Now, NSA Director Michael S. Rogers says he might have a solution. Uh-oh. Lock down your devices, folks.
NSA, the National Scares Me Association. Thank you for that report.
What you got, Toss?
Well, let's see. Today, Hillary Clinton announced she is running for president. Hillary, if you're listening, I'll tell you what, I am an undecided voter. But if you can master Manjaro Linux, you have my vote. How does that sound? All right, well, that's our show, folks. Goodbye.
Okay, my turn. I got yeah, because I got as much nonsense as you've got. So okay, well, you remember the X-Files, and they had that one episode with the nanobots and everything from 1999. Yeah. Okay, well, apparently on January 17, 1999, sci-fi fans turned to their beloved X-Files, were treated to a terrifying technology nightmare. At the beginning of the episode, Assistant Director of the FBI, Walter Skinner, becomes mysteriously ill. Black veins slowly spread across his body. The malady, it turns out, are microscopic machines in his blood. And 16 years later, it appears that nanobots like these ones that were in the X-Files are now a real thing. And although the microscopic critters are still a little creepy, scientists say the technology could have a hugely positive impact. The applications of this are just immense. Says Vika Sperry, an engineer at the University of Illinois at Chicago who led the nanobot experiment. You can use this in food storage or outer space research. How exactly? It's beyond me. But at any rate, they've now got these little, nanobots, micro-technologies, and that sort of thing. So, yeah, all is good, huh?
Well, speaking of nanobots or nano, $70,000 worth of frozen bull semen stolen from Minnesota farm. That is a load of bull.
Bull shiznits.
Hey, I just read it.
Oh, goodness, Toss. Where do you find these?
Hey, this is nonsense, right? Well, just enjoy the show.
Yeah. Okay, well, this article reminds me of that movie. I don't know if you've seen this one. This one's an oldie but goodie. The movie was called It's a Mad, 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 Mad World.
Yeah.
You remember that one? Yeah, and, they find this briefcase full of money under the big W, and then they end up going in the building, and there's a chase going on and everything, and all of a sudden the money ends up flying out the window and then into the streets, and everybody's going crazy. Well, apparently, this happened recently in Texas. It's raining cash. Lucky drivers hit the jackpot as wads of money fall from a truck. Joe Aldridge, 46, recorded the incredible moment. Cars came to a standstill as drivers desperately picked up these banknotes. Drivers scooped up free money after a truck stopped a large wad of cash along a busy road. Footage shows the incredible moment of cars that came to a standstill as people desperately pick up banknotes which blew across the street. Recorded by 46-year-old Joel Aldridge, it shows a number of people climbing out of their cars, scrambling to catch the money in Texas. Mr. Aldridge did not hesitate to stop and pick up some of the money for himself, confirming the incident. Weatherford Police Department strongly encouraged anyone who had collected some of the money to return it to the police. Weatherford Police Department, good luck with that. Yeah, good luck with that.
I'm sure many drivers were banking on that story. Haha.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. What you got?
Sebastian, who's your internet service provider down there?
Comcast.
Well, I actually have that here. It's actually very fast, very reliable. If it wasn't for that, I probably couldn't do this because they are the fastest provider as far as, bandwidth and speed and all that. But apparently, even though I enjoy it and it's fine, Comcast apparently has a PR problem, service issue in some parts of the country. This is all true. Apparently, some of customers' names on their billing, the names have been changed. Some of the names on the bills, and I quote, are dummy, a-hole, and super bitch.
What? Apparently what happened was they must have called the customer support line and somebody did some fiddling in their accounts, huh?
I'm not sure, but the last one, Super BIT, that's actually a sequel to Superman. No, I'm just kidding. But
okay, yeah, I follow you.
But no, look, I have Comcast here. It works fine. But I will say this: it gets kind of embarrassing because I get these bills in the mail and they change the name. They'll put on, King Toss, Master T, Total Boss Today. It really is embarrassing. So Comcast, we stop doing that. I mean, I appreciate
it. Now, something to let you in on, kids. If you do have Comcast, I do. I have their Boost internet, and believe me, it is lightning quick. Love it. Gotta have it, especially, doing the podcasts and the things that I do. Gotta have the high-speed internet. I'm getting like almost set. Sometimes I'm topping out at 7 megabytes a second download, which is lightning quick. I think they call it their 50 megabit a second service, but actually I'm downloading like 7 megs a second, so it is quick. But I gotta tell you something. Never, ever, ever call them on the phone for support, or to upgrade your account, or do anything. They are imbeciles in their call centers. Absolute imbeciles. If you want to get something done right, you need to go there in person and deal with somebody face to face. Usually the people who are at our location locally, face to face, every one of the representatives there are committed to customer satisfaction and excellence in customer service. I always leave there happy. Never call them on the phone. I always end up being more angry after getting off the phone with them. So you're better off just going in person, and just a piece of advice from my end of the thing there. Yeah, that's all I've got. What you got?
Must be the heat down there, because I don't have that kind of an issue here. But okay. Okay, I do have one last thing, kind of like a personal nonsense. Well, you and I, you recall I had a little bit of an issue syncing my Galaxy phone to my new Ubuntu Mate, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Was it because the ATI drivers were conflicting?
Oh, will you stop it?
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
Come on, it was the NVIDIA drivers. What's the matter with you? No, I'm just kidding. But Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so I uploaded a video, Ubuntu Mate review, and one of my subscribers had mentioned, Toss, did you install something called XFAT Utilities something or other? So anyway, I tried it. It's actually 2 pieces of software, if I recall. I installed it, still cannot sync my Galaxy phone. The same day, the lead developer for Ubuntu Mate, Martin Wimpress, says, did you try the XFAT utilities? The exact same suggestion. So I'm like, no, wait a minute. If a random comment, someone says, try this, it doesn't work, I'm like, okay, fine, it doesn't work. But if the boss of Ubuntu Mate says, try this, maybe I'm doing something wrong. So I go to the Synaptic Package Manager. I look at it, says, well, the XFAT, whatever, they're there. They're installed. But then Spatry, it hit me. It hit me, and I'm like, Toss, baby, start thinking like Windows. As in, you want to know how I solved my problem, Spatry?
Go ahead.
I rebooted, just like you do in Windows. I rebooted twice, and now I can sync my phone. So Ubuntu Mate, folks, is Windows user certified. Myself. Thank you very much.
It's really funny. I had a fun little adventure today. I suppose we've got a few minutes I can talk about it. We have a thread on the forum where some people were asking, we had one person who was asking about getting games, browser games working in Linux. And it just so happens a cup of Linux, if you click the chat here button and you click the little alien icon, we actually have some browser games built in. But the thing is, darn it, I want to play Shockwave games, and I couldn't figure it out. And so what I ended up doing yesterday was I compiled Pipelight. And the only plugin that I wanted was just the Shockwave plugin. So I followed the instructions on the Pipelight website, and it just would not work. And suffice to say, I ran Iceweasel browser and found out why it was getting these errors and that sort of thing. So there were just 2 simple little lines of code that I throw into the terminal, and now all of a sudden Shockwave content is working, and now I can play almost all of the games that we have on our site. I think I need to put a video up showing how to enable Shockwave in Linux so that you can play those games. Pretty cool stuff indeed. Very easy to do if you're running Arch or Manjaro. to compile Pipelight. But then again, if you are running an Ubuntu or derivative, I think there is a PPA out there where you can get Pipelight. And with the Pipelight installer, you can have all kinds of plugins with it. Toss, it's interesting. You know, they have the Unity 3D engine for browser games. So you can install that and then be able to play Unity 3D games and all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, well worth the time and effort and trouble to check out Pipelight if you haven't already done so. Well, that's all I've got, and I take it you're all out of news, aren't you, Toss?
Just a couple quick things, a couple polls this month. Vote for your favorite Linux April YouTuber. Please don't vote for me. I mean, you're more than welcome to vote for Spatrick, but I do these polls maybe to help out somebody new to YouTube who needs more exposure, more help, as it were. So go ahead and just vote, comment as a vote on that video. And the one poll ends tomorrow. Next day, would you buy an Apple iPhone? This is interesting, Spatry, because when I first started the poll, it was like 100% no. Now, the last time I checked, I think it was almost like 60-40 no. So I'm curious to see where the poll ends, but I don't know. I was thinking about the $17,000 iWatch, but nah, I think I'll stick to what I have. Thank you very much.
It's funny because we did have a topic on our forum for would you purchase a smartwatch, and I don't think anybody has voted yes on that topic to this date. And touching on YouTubers, if you do have a new YouTube channel and you are releasing Linux videos and you want to get more people over to your channel, you know, we have a lot of YouTube show hosts here at cupoflinux.com, so be sure and share your videos. Just post them in the correct sections on the forum. I encourage YouTube show hosts to share their videos, and this is a great way to get more people and, you know, to get a larger audience. Obviously, a larger audience is good for a lot of you who are putting a lot of effort and time into your videos, because, you know, you do want to get a partnership so that you can at least, you know, earn, you won't get rich, but, you know, you'll earn a few bucks, get a little bit of a return for your investment and time that it takes to put these videos and stuff together. So I always encourage people to post their YouTube videos at Cup of Linux, as long as they're in the correct areas. I'm perfectly cool with that. So if you've got a YouTube channel, definitely hop on in a Cup of Linux, become a big part of the family here. This is a great place where everybody can obtain and share information. Absolutely. And it's always great to have you here with us as well, Toss. Too bad Deckard Cain couldn't make it. As stated, he had some, he apparently had something to do that was more important than we are. So hopefully he'll come back next week. I don't know. Maybe that'll probably scare him away and we won't see him again. Who knows? I'd like to thank everybody who's joined us in the listening room. Thank you, all of you, for joining us. We'll be back same time, same channel next week. And hope to see you next week as well, Toss. And we'll have more prizes and stuff to give away. Also, join us next Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, UTC -5. We're going to also have another Cup of Linux game night with Star Conflict and Open Red Alert. That's all I've got. Peace out.
Arrivederci.